There are two versions of yourself. And in this show, the design self, I refer to those as the default and the design. And this is a model for self-understanding. It's a model for if you feel like there's more available to you in your life than you've accomplished. Maybe you have unfulfilled dreams. Maybe you feel like there's more available to you in your career or just in your life than you've already experienced. Understanding the default and the design is going to help you transcend whatever circumstances you might be in right now, if the circumstances you are in are something that you're feeling called to transcend. So first of all, what is the default? The default is who you are. It's who you've been sort of trained to be throughout your life. It's who you are based on your, what I'll call your conditioning, which is like the way your childhood shaped you, the way that you were shaped by the experiences you've had throughout your life, like school, different employers, the way different people have treated you throughout your life have led you to a set of assumptions about who you are that might or might not be true. That's the default. The default is who you are. And the most important thing to understand about the default is that it's based on habit. It's based on patterning. It's based on, for most of us, what we learned growing up. So what's the design? The design is the version of you that you have the potential to create. And I believe that we're all in this life, in this experience, to create ourselves, to create the life that we most want to be living. I think that whatever outrageous dreams we have are available to all of us. The question is, how do we get there? Especially when we're living a life that doesn't feel like it's in alignment with who we are at a deeper level and what we really want. And so the first step is understanding what the default is and understanding that we all have these two aspects of ourselves and we oscillate between them. Like, have you ever noticed how sometimes you'll feel on top of the world, you'll feel inspired, you feel like you have the power to create anything? That's the design. And then other times you just feel stuck and limited and you kind of feel like, well, I guess my life this is how my life's gonna be for the rest of my life. That's the default. So the first step is understanding this. The next step is understanding that it's within your power to create whatever you want in your life. It really is, even if it doesn't feel that way. And the last thing I want to leave you with is an idea from Carl Jung, the Swiss psychoanalyst from the early 1900s. Carl Jung talked about the shadow. Maybe you've heard about the shadow and people doing shadow work. Carl Jung was the guy who first coined the term shadow, who identified this. And what is the shadow? The shadow is an aspect of ourselves that we tend to avoid. So think about parts of yourself that you don't like, parts of yourself that you judge yourself for, ways that you often show up that maybe feel like something you're embarrassed of. And so you try to suppress certain aspects of your personality, certain ways that maybe you tend to be, and you push them away and you're like, I don't want to be that way because this is who I want to be. Well, Carl Jung called that the shadow, and Carl Jung said that the path to wholeness, the path to becoming a full integrated person, and he was talking about becoming the design, the creator of your own destiny in your own life. Carl Jung said that the path to taking charge in your own life, fulfilling your destiny, is by integrating your shadow. So noticing where you're pushing aspects of yourself away, where you're pushing away things that you don't want to identify with, and realizing that a lot of that pushing away is about old patterns. And so the key to happiness, to fulfillment, to designing yourself is noticing where you are pushing parts of yourself away and learning to embrace those parts of yourself. Because another thing Carl Jung said is that when we go through our lives and we're suppressing parts of our shadow, that takes a lot of energy. And so all of our energy ends up going into suppressing what's in our shadow, pushing away the parts of ourselves that we don't like, trying to be a way that we want to be. that's maybe not in alignment with actually who we really are, which includes parts of ourselves that we've pushed into our shadow. So the key to becoming your design self, and maybe you find that you oscillate back and forth between a very high image of yourself and a very low image of yourself, consider what's in your shadow. Consider if there are parts of your personality that you're pushing away, that you haven't integrated, because that's what will cause you to oscillate, and that's what will keep you stuck in the default and keep you from being able to experience the design. I'll see you tomorrow.